Ever find yourself wondering how AI writes stories, poems, even code? It's pretty wild.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Today we're going deep into these large language models,
Yeah.
trying to understand how they actually work. We're talking about those feed-forward layers,
Right.
kind of like the powerhouse of AI's brain.
And the interesting thing is that those layers, they're surprisingly similar to how our own brains might actually store and access information.
Okay, now that sounds intriguing, but how does it work?
So researchers are finding that these layers function like a vast and complex memory system.
Okay.
Kind of like a massive library inside the AI.
A library, huh?
Yeah.
So how do we go from lines of code to a library full of knowledge?
So imagine walking into a library, right, and looking for a specific book. You might use the book's title or the author as a key to find it.
Right, and then that key, the title or author, leads me to the value, which is the actual book itself.
That's exactly it. And this research we're diving into by Java et al. Suggests that a similar process is happening within these powerful AI models. They call it key value memory.
So instead of books, what kind of keys and values are we talking about in the AI world?
Think of it this way. Every time you see a suggested word popping up on your phone's keyboard as you're typing,
Right.
that's the AI using its key value memory to predict what comes next. The words you've already typed, those act as the key.
And the suggested words are the values.
Precisely. The model has learned that certain words often follow each other, creating those eerily accurate predictions.
Okay, that makes sense. But these models are writing entire novels now. Surely it's more than just predicting the next word, right?
You're right, it gets much more nuanced, especially in the upper layers of the model.
Okay.
Imagine, instead of simple word pairs, the AI starts recognizing entire concepts or themes.
Mm-hmm.
So a key might not be just the word cat,
Yeah.
but the entire idea of a cat, including all its associated, behaviors, characteristics.
So it's like the AI is building a deep understanding of the world just from analyzing text.
Yes,
That's incredible.
it is. For instance, the researchers found a key that was activated by any text related to time ranges, like between 3 p.m. and 7 p.m.
Okay.
It wasn't just recognizing specific words, it was understanding the concept of a time frame.
That's mind-blowing. It's like the AI is developing its own internal logic system.
Exactly. And just like in a library where one book can lead to another, these keys can trigger a cascade of related information, allowing the AI to build complex chains of thought.
Okay, so the keys are like these triggers of understanding, but what about the values? What role do they play in all of this?
The values are where the real magic happens. Think of each value as a mini prediction machine. It holds a probability map of all the words in the model's vocabulary, ranked by how likely they are to follow that particular key.
So if the AI comes across the key for time range, the value might suggest words like during, while, or even meanwhile.
You got it. And what's fascinating is that as you go deeper into the model's layers, these values become incredibly sophisticated at predicting the next word in a way that actually makes sense contextually.
So it's not just about statistical probability anymore. It's about actual understanding of meaning.
Exactly. The researchers found that for a key related to TV shows, the corresponding value ranked the word played highly. Think about it. After discussing a TV show, you often talk about the actors who played the characters.
Whoa. It's like the AI is learning those subtle connections that make human language so nuanced. This is starting to sound less like a machine and more like, actual thinking. Tell me more. So we've got this AI building up this library of knowledge with all these interconnected keys and values. It's predicting upcoming words based on context, meaning, how does it work in practice? Like, if I feed the AI the beginning of a story, what happens inside its brain?
It's like a symphony of calculations just happening at lightning speed.
Okay.
Those initial sentences that you input,
Right.
those are instantly broken down into their base components.
So the AI isn't reading it like we do, like trying to follow the plot?
Not exactly, no. The lower layers of the model, they're like pattern detectors.
Okay.
They're picking up on basic grammatical structures, common phrases. Think of it as kind of laying the foundation.
Okay, so it's establishing a basic framework.
Right.
But we're talking about AI that can write like Shakespeare. How do we go from sentence structure to sonnets?
That's where the real magic of that key value memory system comes into play.
Okay.
Those initial patterns detected by the lower layers,
Right.
those act as triggers, activating specific keys in the upper layers of the model.
And those upper level keys, those are the ones associated with the more complex ideas and themes, right?
Precisely. So now the AI isn't just predicting any word that might fit grammatically. It's drawing on its vast library of knowledge, its memories, to predict words that fit the context of the story you're telling.
Interesting.
It's amazing, really.
So it's like, it's learned that if you mention a dark and stormy night, the next sentence probably shouldn't be about a picnic in the park.
Exactly. And this process doesn't just happen once. As the AI generates each word,
Right.
that word then becomes part of the input,
Okay.
triggering new keys and refining the predictions even further.
Hold on. So it's using its own output to influence its future output. That's like, it's learning as it goes.
That's a great way to put it. It's a continuous feedback loop, refining, recalibrating with each passing word. And remember, we're not talking about a single key value pair firing at a time.
Right.
Hundreds, even thousands of these connections are being made simultaneously, all working together to create a coherent and engaging narrative.
Wow. So it's more like a neural network than a simple computer program.
Exactly. And this interconnectedness, it's what allows these models to achieve such incredible feats of language generation.
Mm-hmm.
It's also why researching these models is so exciting. The more we understand how these artificial systems work, the more we learn about the complexities of our own language and cognition.
This is absolutely fascinating, but I have to admit, it's also a little bit daunting. I mean, if these AI models are already this good at mimicking human language and thought, what does the future hold? What happens when these models become even more sophisticated? It's kind of like we're opening up Pandora's box, isn't it? And unleashing this power that, I mean, we're still trying to fully grasp.
It's true, yeah. But remember, even with all of its sophistication, this technology, it's still in its infancy.
Right.
Think back to like the early days of computers.
Yeah.
Bulky machines that took up entire rooms.
Yeah.
Just to perform basic calculations.
And now we carry more computing power in our pockets than those early pioneers could ever imagine.
Precisely. The key is that as this technology continues to evolve, so too will our understanding of it. We're learning more every day about how these models work, their strengths, their limitations, and that knowledge, it's crucial.
Because it allows us to use these tools responsibly, to, harness their potential for good while mitigating potential risks.
Absolutely. It's a continuous process of discovery and adaptation, and it requires open dialogue, collaboration, and a healthy dose of curiosity.
Speaking of curiosity, I'm still stuck on something. We've talked about how these AI models, they learn from the data they're fed, how they identify patterns, make predictions. But is it really thinking? Or is it just a sophisticated imitation of human thought?
That's a question that philosophers and scientists have been grappling with for centuries.
Right.
What constitutes true thinking? Is it limited to biological beings like ourselves? Or can artificial systems achieve a level of complexity that rivals, perhaps even surpasses our own cognitive abilities?
Those are some seriously big questions, and I'm guessing we're not going to have all the answers today.
Probably not, no. But what's exciting is that we're living in a time where these questions, they're moving from the realm of science fiction into the realm of scientific inquiry. The research we discussed today, this is just one example of the incredible breakthroughs happening in this field.
It feels like we're on the cusp of something truly revolutionary. And it's all thanks to these fascinating feed-forward layers acting like this vast and complex memory system inside these AI models.
A memory system that's constantly evolving, learning, and adapting based on the information it's given.
So in a way, these AI models are not so different from us after all. We learn from our experiences, we form connections, and we use that knowledge to navigate the world around us.
And just like us, these models are shaped by the information they consume, which is why it's so crucial that we approach this technology thoughtfully, ethically, and with a deep understanding of its potential impact on society.
It's a brave new world out there, folks. And as we venture deeper into the realm of artificial intelligence, one thing is certain, it's going to be a wild ride.
Absolutely. And one that's sure to challenge our assumptions, expand our understanding of what's possible, and maybe even redefine what it means to be human.
Thanks for joining us on this incredible deep dive into the world of AI. We'll catch you next time when we'll explore, well, who knows what mysteries await. Until then, keep those brains buzzing.